Right, welcome to this tactics and showcase video. It's for the Necrons. I do plan to have more of an appearance of them on both the channels in the near future. I'm working on a revamped list. That list has been proposed a while back now on the Plus channel, and I'm just sort of putting the finishing touches together for that list. So I'll be doing tactical series on these, all the units that I'm using, ones that I like and ones that seem to work well. So I'll be covering each individual unit here in these tactics videos. But in this episode we'll take a look at the Catacomb Command Barge. It was a unit that I always used to use, and then it fell out of favour, and then I didn't think it was very good in 8th edition, but it is good, and I'm going to cover tactics, the loadout you can go for, so little tactics you can use, and it is a very effective unit. I think it's one of the key units here for my Necron army. So first I'm going to do is show you the model. Just swing it in here, like so. I'm going to zoom in here so you can take a closer look. Alright, so there it is. It's a great kit. You've got these two like pilots here with their control panels. Does look very cool. Games Workshop revamped the Necrons. They introduced some fantastic plastic kits for them. They had the monolith, had the infantry and so on, but then they introduced the flyer and it's sort of similar crescent concept design here. And this Catacomb Command Barge and the other, like the Ghost Ark as well, all these plastic kits were introduced around the same kind of time. And I think they're a great addition for the Necrons here. Now this is Tamra. If you look at some of the older battle reports, he fights on foot. I have magnetised him here. You get him in with the kit. You can stick him on, but I just put two very flat magnets on his feet. These are, let me think now the size, they're 0.5mm thick, and the width of them I think is 5mm. So they're very small, very thin. You'd hardly notice they're on his feet just there. I put two on there. I put two on a regular base, a round base, so he just clicks on if I want him on a base, and then I stuck two in just the right spots here on the vehicle, so that he just drops in like that, magnetised, no problem, and pretty resistant, you know, he won't come off. So I'm really happy with that, because you can take him, but in the old rules in 7th edition he used to be able to fight on foot and so on, which was quite cool, but now he has to stay inside this. But if I want to take him as an overlord on foot, I just put him on his base and pay the points for that. If I want to take him on the Catacomb Command Barge, I just stick him back on there. So I'm really happy about that. It's an easy bit of magnetising to do. You just stick two on the bottom of the feet and then two on there. Very easily done. Just use a very thin 0.5mm thick magnets, which you can get from eBay usually. It's available from there. And then just the flying base just goes into a hole that's here. So I love the old rusted metal look, as you can see, and then I love the neon glowing green. Some painters will go more strong with the green. They'll put sort of glowing green in between like the bigger cracks here, and that looks great as well. There's some fantastic colour schemes for the Necrons out there, but I just love the neon glowing green just as a spot colour, and then just gone for bronze and silver. So Necron's a great army to paint up if perhaps your painting skills aren't that well refined at the moment, or you're looking to paint an army quite quickly. But still, they can look really effective, and these don't take too long to paint. You know, it's just basically a technique that you're using to achieve these results. And just putting a bit of effort really on the green there as a spot colour. But you can go for any colour you want. They look great in blue. Orange looks great as well. So there's options there. I stuck with just the silver over the majority of the model, again to save time. Others paint panels, but if you go down that route you can spend a bit more, you know, using a bit more time. I wanted to put an army together quite quick, so I've gone for the silver across most of the model, and then just bronze in areas like this just behind on his cloak. I'll maybe zoom in here. It's a chance for people to get a closer look here at Tamra. There he is. He's led this Necron army to many a victory. I'm currently working on a brand new list, or I have a brand new list virtually ready now for 8th edition and for the new codex. But there he is. We'll take a look at the rules now for the Catacomb Command Barge. So he just clips in there. I'll move him out of the way. So it's an HQ choice. The reason why I take him is because I have, if you'll see the new Necron army, you'll see it in action soon enough. There is an on foot legion, like here, like in the illustration here. So all these legions here on foot marching across the table. That's a strong enough position to be in for the Necrons, on foot, no problem, and just flaying away all of your weapons, supported by other firepower. But I did want a faster element to the army, one that could maneuver, go out on the attack, go and grab objectives and so on. And so he's part of that. Tamra is part of the mobile, quicker assault mounted up on that Catacomb Command Barge. There's a number of great advantages for him, some really good ones. Part of the Necrons is durability. It's something I really want to emphasise with them, and one of their strengths, I think, their ability to survive and to just endure longer than the opponent's army. So you bash into each other, both sides take casualties, but then towards the middle end stage of the game, the Necrons start to get stronger, and you can tap into, you know, reanimation protocols and so on. So I want units that have that durability and survivability. The Catacomb Command Barge does fit into that. In a number of ways you can preserve and keep him alive. The first major one is he's a character, and he has 8 wounds. So no damage bracket, no damage profile here. So that's good. So even if he's on 1 wound, he'll fight just as effectively. But also 8 wounds means he can hide behind other units and not be shot at because he's a character. So a brilliant way of protecting him. Whilst other Necron vehicles can be shot at this guy, so you've got a unit of these here, Triarch Praetorians, the opponent has to fire at them before they're allowed to fire at the character. So that's if you're not allowed to fire at him, you know, it's a brilliant way of protecting him. So you've got a vehicle there that's mobile. It's got 8 wounds. It's, you know, it's plenty of wounds, but not allowed to shoot him unless you get through those. So that's an excellent strength and advantage to have. So he's movement 12, so nice and quick. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+. He's not going to have many attacks, so 2s to hit in close combat is good. And then for shooting, he does have a weapon on there. He's got a Gauze cannon, which is an excellent weapon. So 2s to hit is very helpful. Strength 5, toughness 6, 8 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 10, and a 3-up save. So, you know, he's not blistering close combat, but he's okay. The weapon's not too bad. I take the War Scythe. So you can give him a Staff of Light, which is a shooting weapon. It's all right. You can fight with it in close combat. It's range 12, assault 3, strength 5, -2, and 1 damage. It's okay. In close combat, strength use -2. So it's not that great. I take the War Scythe. That's +2 strength. No fights at strength 7. AP -4, which is deadly, and then 2 damage. So he's quite good for taking out like characters, especially characters sort of characters that aren't that great. So like a Sanguinary Priest, for example, or a Warlock. Those kind of characters, sort of cheaper characters, he stands a good chance of slaying them there with his War Scythe. You can take a Resurrection Orb. So Resurrection Orb is 35 points to take it. Model as a Resurrection Orb once per battle. Immediately after you've made your reanimation protocols at the beginning of your turn, you can make reanimation protocols for models from a friendly infantry unit within 3 inches of that model. So you basically get reanimation protocols again. That is helpful, you know, at a critical point in the game. You've got a unit that's been hammered, got a unit of 10 of these, they're reduced to 1. You know, now's the time to get your effective reanimation protocols. That may well be worth the 35 points. It sounds a lot, but if you're resurrecting, you know, 100 points worth of models, then it's worth doing. So that option is available to take the Resurrection Orb. You can replace the Gauze cannon, which is 20 points, with a Tesla cannon, which is cheaper. It's 13 points, but nowhere near as good, I don't think. Tesla cannon is range 24, assault 3, strength 6, AP 0, there's no minus on it, 1 damage. If you take roll a 6, it's 3 hits instead of 1. It's alright. I rate the Gauze cannon though, by far. It's heavy free steel, strength 6, -3, and then D3 damage. So a much nastier weapon. definitely prefer the Gauss Cannon. Now it is heavy, so when you move it's -1, because it's 2+ to hit, and his ballistic skill, you'll still be on freeze to hit even if you move. So it's a good weapon. And the fact that he's hiding behind other targets is that he can fire away, shoot with his weapon, and then the opponent can't reply back until they get through the closest units. So shooting weapon's not bad, close combat's okay, and then he's nice and mobile. So generally all round, he's alright. I'm paying, with the Gauss Cannon Warsaw, it's 169 points. So, it's just sort of things that stack up that make him better, as you'll see here, and some improvements as well with some of the relics. You can take the Hyperphase Sword, which is like a power sword. It's +1 strength, so strength 6, AP -3. It's alright, but I still see the Warsaw as superior. So he gets Living Metal. It's one that's well worth remembering. So at the beginning of your turn, if you're down on your wounds, you just automatically restore 1 wound every turn, which is good. Wave of Command. At the beginning of your turn, choose a friendly infantry unit within 12. Add 1 to the advance, charge and hit rolls for that unit to the beginning of your turn. It's an excellent benefit to grant to another unit. A unit can only be chosen as a target wave of command, or my will be done once in each turn. So I usually have my Triarch Praetorians near him. He then grants, these guys are out the front fighting. He then grants them their +1 to hit for their shooting, some twos in close combat as well. And then when they come to charge, +1 on your charge, +1 on the advance rolls. Excellent. Really is helpful. So enjoy that one. And then there is also a stratagem. Yes, the Pharaoh's Will. Use a stratagem after an Overlord keyword, which he has. From your army, as used, my will be done, a wave of command. This model can immediately use that ability for a second time. It's only 1 command point. If you want to grant another unit within 12, +1, and all those benefits, then and cost you a command point to do it. That's very helpful as well. So you could help out if he's near a gun line. You got 2 big blobs of Necron warriors. You could just go wave of command, play a stratagem, give it to the other unit, and all of a sudden, a whole lot are on 2s to hit for their shooting. So great enhancement is able to give there, along with the Resurrection Orb as well. And wave of command is superior. So your regular, my will be done. My will be done here for the Overlord. It's units within 6. This guy is units within 12. So it's much more effective with his command and control for that wave of command ability. So as I said earlier, think about durability for Necrons, keeping this guy alive. 3 up save, 8 wounds. It's okay, but the opponent can cut them down pretty quick. So quantum shielding really helps. Each time this model fails a saving throw, roll a d6. If the result is less than damage inflicted by that attack, the damage is ignored. So for example, if it's 4 damage and you roll 1, 2 or 3, then you just ignore the damage. So those killer weapons that hit you, multi-melters, las cannons and so on, there's a fair chance if the opponent rolls high, you're able to block the damage from coming through. That is so helpful. It can't block mortal wounds, but see, for example, I was locked in combat with a Smash Captain, not giving much away, but those kind of combats, and it was 4 damage coming through, rolling up quantum shielding, and I was blocking quite a few of those from actually coming through. So it is quantum shielding is excellent. Let's just make sure here. I'm just making sure it's for all types. It is, yeah. So it's shooting and for close combat. So quantum shield is really good. And then you explode. It's not very much of an impact. Within 3 inches, it's a mortal wound on the 6 to make the vehicle explode. So it's next to nothing if it blows up. If he does die, again, stratagems here. So just to mention here, it's quantum deflection. That's okay, it's only 1 command point. Use a stratagem when an enemy unit targets a vehicle. He's a vehicle in your army that has quantum shielding ability, but before any hit rolls are made, so you know that the opponent's Devastator squad's nearby and they're going to fire their las cannons into you. It's like all of a sudden in trouble. What can I do to try and keep them alive? Play this one here. Until the end of the phase, subtract 1 from the rolls made for your vehicle's quantum shielding ability to see if damage is ignored for each unsafe wound. So it's minusing, so it's increasing the chances of that quantum shielding from nullifying damage coming through. So that one's really helpful. Yeah, this one I've used here, Resurrection Protocols. It's one you have to remember because you can easily forget and let the game move on. But this one here, again, 1 command point. Use a stratagem when Necron's character from your army, excluding Trazjan the Infinite and Catan Shards is slain. At the end of that phase, roll a d6 on a 4+, and this is where you keep a command reroll on standby. 4+, potentially re-rolling it. Set up the character again as close as possible to his previous position, more than 1 inch of enemy models, with 1 wound remaining. This stratagem cannot be used to resurrect the same model more than once per battle. Right, so you can only use it once. But yeah, it's the end of the opponent's turn. They've slain your model. That's sort of the perfect time. Then at the end of their turn, when all is done and finished, you then play this card, resurrect him. It's more than an inch away, so he's out of combat. And then on your turn, yes, you got 1 wound, but you can immediately, because he's so quick, not really affected by damage, you can zip him out of trouble, pull him away, and then he'll immediately regain another wound on top of that. Anyway, be up to 2 wounds with living metal. And then he can be repaired by Cryptex and so on. And pull him away, and then once he's hidden back behind your lines again, you're protected because it's a character. So that's helpful. Very, very helpful. So to make it a bit nastier in combat, I've been doing this a bit wrong. People have pointed it out to me now here in Tropic Strike. 1 command point. Use a stratagem in the fight phase before a Necron's character from your army fights. Invuln saves cannot be taken against the first close combat attack made by this character this phase. I was doing all the attacks in error. It is one of your attacks, your first attack. So you get a attack which is going to ignore the invuln save, and then the rest is normal. So it's nowhere near as deadly as I thought, but it's okay. You can get past the invuln save there. At least you can cause some damage. So Tropic Strike. So you've got it all stacked up now. You have your character hidden, quantum shielding, and the ability to make repairs and so on. Makes him pretty tough. Also, another thing I do is that I don't make him the warlord. And that means that, you know, if he dies, because I'm going to be using him out there, he's on the attack, he's joining the assault based units, I don't usually make him the warlord. Try and keep the warlord safe, make it a cryptech or something that's buried in amongst the lines and a higher chance of staying alive. That means if you do go out and do a mission with him and he dies, it's not so big a deal. You haven't conceded that slay the warlord point. So yeah, it's difficult choices here for the artifacts that you can go for. It's well, because he's unnamed, it's well worth giving him a relic. It's a shame you can't take multiple relics and only take 1, but Void Reaper is a good option. Model with a War Scythe or Void Scythe only, that's him. It replaces the War Scythe. It's strength. This weapon always wounds on a 2+, unless it's a vehicle, in which case it's strength 7. It's not too much of a change, but always 2s, unless it's a vehicle. AP -4, and the big thing here is 3 damage, so you're knocking up the damage there, and that's quite significant. So, it's him. But what I've been taking, and I don't have regrets about this, that's the Lightning Field. The bearer of the Lightning Field has a 4+ invuln save. In addition, roll a d6 for each enemy unit within an inch of the bearer at the start of the fight phase, and a 4+ unit suffers a mortal wound. I found that really worth taking, because the standard stat line here, I think you used to, but not anymore, there's no invuln save at all. That is dangerous, but all of a sudden you can give them for free a Lightning Field and a 4+ invulnerable save. So yes, but there's ones here as well. The Nightmare Shroud, bearer's armor saves increased by 1. Yeah, a 2-up armor save. That's helpful. But the Lightning Field there. So again, say that he is the closest target for whatever reason. Opponent's got a Devastator squad here. Half those shots, you're going to block it with a 4+ invuln save, and the damage that does come through, there's even further chance of blocking that with the quantum shield. And you stack all these things up, and this unit here actually becomes quite tough. So initially when I saw him, so you see the stat and I thought, well, 8 wounds, 3-up save, it's going to get shot up. But if you start to add up those bonuses, it actually makes them quite durable. So that's the tactica. I'm not going to roll up any dice for this guy. It's pretty straightforward what he does. It's more about the survivability and then the bonuses that he grants, making good use of that wave of command. I wouldn't throw him away early on in the game. A unit that's carrying decent buffs and benefits to other units, you may as well get the most you can out of them. So stay alive for as long as possible, constantly granting those bonuses to other units. And if you're staying alive, you know, he's not useless. He does have a decent weapon that he can be firing every turn as well. So I sort of have him hang around with my assault, but it's not like a reckless assault. It's sort of a well-timed assault with him and trying to keep him alive for as long as possible, and then you get your most out of him. And then towards the end of the game, it might be very handy for mopping up with his deadly warside attacks. But if I've missed any tactics here, check out the comment section below. Some experienced Necron players will leave their comments and feedback. So if you have experience in Necrons, and especially with this particular unit, you know, how effective has it been for you? What loadout do you go for? And then how do you use the model in your game? How does it enhance your army? For experienced Necron players, it'd be great to leave that in the comment section below. It means that other players getting into playing Necrons, they can see the tactics I've talked about here, and also check out the comment section and you'll see what other Necron players are saying, oh, how this guy can be used. But great unit, I really love the model. And Tamra was on foot, but now he rides on top of his Catacomb Command Barge. That's the tactics video for the Catacomb Command Barge. Keep a look out for more tactics for the Necrons. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.